Hi, this is Liz Moreland, City Manager for Lighton. Wanted to talk a little bit about some things that were in my inbox this morning, some issues that the city needs to address. The first one is the EPA report that we are receiving, letting us know that our infrastructure for the water, sewage, and drainage is not up to par, and the air quality. We're also needing to address that. Kentucky's not really known for being real open to changes in our environmental policy or new regulation or trying to improve things. But I think one way that we could address that is contacting one of the state agencies that would be able to help us as far as the regulations, and letting them know that as a state we will all probably suffer some consequences from either regional or federal offices with the EPA, and it's going to affect all of us. So we need to figure out a way to work together with the policy as well as the revenue part of this. We're obviously going to have to replace the infrastructure. That can't be helped. So another thing that we can look at is maybe contacting some interest groups, environmental interest groups such as the Sierra Club or other local ones. Maybe research that and see if there's anybody who could help us as far as a campaign towards the state, contacting state representatives, letting them know that we really need some assistance. We could also look at maybe contacting a regulated firm that can help us come up to par and become compliant with the regulations and get on board with that. We could also try to work with some of the industry leaders, maybe through like the automobile industry or other environmentally friendly programs maybe entering our city to help sell products that have less pollutants, pesticides, more organic, that sort of thing. We could possibly offer some tax incentives to the organizations or companies that already exist, but need some help with equipment to maybe like a tax-free situation on the financing for equipment to improve their products or manufacturing techniques, that sort of thing. We could also look at policy diffusion and try to figure out some other what other states have done, that some different procedures and things that may have worked for them as far as that goes. And then also maybe try to develop some campaigns within the community to encourage park and ride programs to reduce the number of vehicles being used in the community, public transportation, or using other forms of lawn care products or things like that, more organic, more environmentally friendly, to improve both the quality, the runoff from the water, as well as the air quality. I think those are the main points that we need to start with. Possibly have meetings with both local representatives, with state representatives, to see if maybe like a brainstorming type of meeting where everyone at different levels can work together, and maybe even try to request, see if there's any kind of revenue support from the federal programs that could help us with the infrastructure. The next issue that I'm looking at is the mayor's suggestion of trying to maybe develop a satellite campus here in Lighton with Northern Kentucky University. The first thing I would probably need to address with the mayor is that we really probably can't treat this like trying to get a new business, because it's a publicly funded university. So we need to treat that a little bit differently, be more transparent, most likely in that, since it's publicly funded, and just be upfront, ethical, and very transparent with the board and with the community on how things are going. If we do decide to move forward with this and pursue it, I think that first of all, we need to point out the benefits to Northern Kentucky University, instead of just relying mainly on connections with the mayor, and meet with the board, with all of the public officials, and make that more of a meeting for all of us, as opposed to just the mayor contacting individually some certain board members. I think that just helps with the transparency part and making it more upfront and appropriate. Before we do that, however, I think that what we need to do is spend a little bit of time researching to see if it would in fact benefit our community. Look at the benefits versus the cost, and not just financial cost, but also other aspects of how it would affect our community. I know that we're trying really hard with the downtown development initiative, and that may help. It may help to increase that likelihood and offer benefits in that sense. However, it may also cause some problems for us. We need to look at how it would affect our population within our town, how it would affect traffic, different things like that may actually end up being less beneficial. One way we could maybe do that, in addition to just researching those things within our town, is to look at other jurisdictions, maybe close to us, or with other universities that have satellite programs in different communities, and seeing what they've done, how it's benefited them, and what their costs have been as well. I think that would give us a lot more knowledge in a way to proceed a little more carefully than just jumping in to the situation and then dealing with consequences later. One thing that we need to look at is enrollment, how state budget problems may affect us down the road if the financing may not be there, the revenue may not be there, and a decreased enrollment. We also need to look at the competition. There's so many more online programs now and different things like that can affect enrollment. And then we would also need to look at how we as a local government would be involved as far as providing oversight. The state will probably have certain oversight situations or details that we may not be aware of that could affect our local government, and we would need to take a look at what all would be involved in that. So those are a few of the things that we would probably need to address before we would pursue it. But I do think that the main thing would be, once we do have this research and maybe look at different statistics and things like that, put a proposal together that would be more appropriate and conclusive and more thorough, and then possibly have a committee meet with the board at Northern Kentucky University, including the mayor. The last issue that I'm looking at is we have a lot of stuff going on right now, as our administrators and staff have pointed out, and I know that it seems like we're juggling a lot, and I understand the need to prioritize. I think that the main thing that we need to look at right now is the downtown initiative, because we have put a lot of time and effort into that. We have I think that's probably more important than the satellite campus initiative. I think that we could bring that in later, and it could be that once we have that downtown area developed, that would be actually a pro for, if we do decide to pursue that. That is something that we could present to Northern Kentucky, the board members, to say, we have the downtown area well on its way of becoming well developed. It's producing a lot of revenue now. We may be better positioned to do that at that time. But I think we need to call for a meeting with the mayor, a staff meeting, so that we all can brainstorm and attempt to prioritize appropriately. I think that having the mayor hear the staff's concerns and suggestions and recommendations, throughout our MPA courses, we've learned that a lot of times the frontline staff and the people who are street level bureaucrats often have better ideas and can offer really good recommendations and are more in touch with what's going on at the moment. So I think asking the mayor to participate in a meeting like that, where we can show him that yes, we do think that's a good idea. However, we need to kind of take a look at where we are with everything else that's going on right now, and sort of prioritize that way. I think that would make everyone feel better about everything that we have on our plate. I think we should also involve maybe some community representatives from the downtown businesses and things like that. Maybe at a commission meeting, have the commissioners involved and just hear what the public has to say about their opinion, the public opinion on whether or not they think we should pursue the Northern Kentucky, if we need to do that, initially or after we have been well on our way into the development. Hopefully we're going to get all that straightened out, the development of the downtown and the wet dry vote, and I think that those are probably need to be our priorities, but I think that we all need to come together and discuss those in order to make a good plan. So that's what I have for today, and I look forward to hearing from everyone, any recommendations that you have, and I appreciate your time and participation. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.